purpose of this presentation is to discuss the need for the high throughput short training field in 802.11n that is used for AGC refinement, and to talk about AGC in general and why we need the extra training in order to obtain a better estimate of the data RMS based on the preamble RMS. And this will save in terms of both the requirements on the A to D and also lead to better performance. This is a very important plot here where we've done a number of simulations over thousands of channel realizations at 50 nanosecond RMS delay spread, in this case for a SISO system. We're using the 802.11a short preamble, and we are plotting at the x-axis the RMS value of the preamble, and on the y-axis we're plotting the RMS value for the data part of the 802.11a packet. The packet is being sent over a channel, as we mentioned, with a 50 nanosecond RMS delay spread. As this scatter plot shows, there's a high correlation between the preamble RMS and the RMS of the data portion of the packet, and what this shows is that we can use the calculated RMS on the preamble as a predictor for the RMS value of the data, and they track very well. However, these two plots show that if we implement a 2x2 MIMO system and transmit the two streams through MIMO channel with 50 nanoseconds for a 2x2 system, and use the RMS value of the preamble, again the preamble is based on the 802.11a preamble, and use that as a predictor for the RMS value of the data, then we don't have a very good correlation as shown in these two scatter plots, one for channel 0 and the other one for channel 1. This is unlike the situation for the SISO case. This is of course predictable because the data in a MIMO packet is quite different than the data in the case of a SISO channel, and the preamble, in the case of an 802.11a preamble, does not have the statistical properties necessary in order to predict the RMS value of the data part. This is a very interesting contribution by Toshiba to TGN back in January 2004, and this is for a 3x3 system. Over here they show the situation where you have plotted the normalized receive power of the short preamble versus the normalized receive power of the data part. We see the same kind of scatter diagram as we showed before. However, if you design a new short preamble that has the same qualities as a MIMO data, in the sense that it incorporates for example, the multiple streams, then we have a higher correlation between the normalized receive power based on the new preamble versus the normalized receive power of the data. They track very well. So by proper design of the preamble, which incorporates the spatial streams, then we can achieve a better performance for the AGC. In fact, if you compare the two plots, and many other studies have shown that you can actually save a bit on the A to D requirements by using an additional training based on the preamble designed for the MIMO data. So if we look at the HT packet for 802.11n, in a case, for example, for 20 megahertz bandwidth, we see that we have the legacy preamble, the legacy signal field, the high throughput signal field, and following the high throughput signal field we have the high throughput short training field, which is for AGC. That is, this field is used in order to calculate and adjust the AGC in anticipation of the training symbols for the H matrix and the high throughput data. The formula for the high throughput short training field is provided here, and just to note that we have two summations, and gamma is equal to 1 for a 20 megahertz system and equal to J in a 40 megahertz system. Let's consider a 20 megahertz system. Then if gamma is equal to 1, then these two sums can be rolled into one summation from K equals minus NSR to K equals plus SNR, and NSR, in the case of a 20 megahertz bandwidth, is from minus 28 to plus 28. So NSR is equal to 28. We have 56 carriers. So we're basically summing over the carriers. We're also summing over in the inner sum, we're summing over the number of spatial streams. And the Q matrix here is a diagonal matrix, so that it is equal to 1 only when ITX and ISTS are equal, where ITX is the index of the transmission chain. For example, for a 2x2 system where we have two transmit trains, then ITX would be equal to 1 or 2, and we would have, of course, design the high throughput short training field, one for transmit chain number 1 and another one for transmit chain number 2 by indexing ITX from 1 to 2. The exponential is, of course, a carrier, and the carriers are separated by delta of F, which is equal to 312.5 kilohertz, and T sub CS is the cyclic shift, and basically we have a cyclic shift for the second transmitter chain, and this is similar to what we showed for the case in which we discussed the generation of the symbols for training in order to obtain the estimate of the H matrix. So for ISTS equal to 1, this term is 0. For ISTS equal to 2, then we usually add a cyclic shift, so we have a CDD type of diversity between the two transmitter chains. HTS is very important. That's a sequence. We have basically 56 plus DC number of terms. Let's take a look at it. So here we have HTS, which ranges from, for the index K, from minus 28 through 28 with a null at DC. So as we index K, then we pick the value of HTS from this sequence here, plug it into here in order to generate the time sequence for RHT-STF. So as you can see, the short training field and also is transmitted through both antennas, and it incorporates a cyclic shift, which also assists in providing a better predictor for using the RMS value of the high throughput short training field in order to predict the RMS value of the data part of the packet. So in summary, the extra high throughput short training field, which is 4 microseconds and is transmitted from both transmission chains in the case of a 2x2 system and all 4 transmission chains, for example, in a 4x4 system, is used to obtain a better adjustment and refinement in the AGC, and this refinement can then be used in order to adjust the RMS value of the A to D in order to provide a better dynamic range and reduce the quantization error and avoid saturation.